She laughed and announced, "This is my husband. He's basically our team mascot." The table burst out. I held a smile for exactly 10 seconds. Then I rose, offered apologies to no one, and walked away. I didn't slam anything. I didn't argue. I simply left because something in me finally recognized it had been finished for a long time.
I'm 41.
I'm a senior estimator at a construction firm in Denver. Numbers, schedules, margins. I make a living forecasting results. We've been married for 13 years. Long enough to mistake stamina for devotion. The company dinner took place at a downtown steakhouse. All dim lighting and loud self-assurance. She'd pushed me to come. "It'll be good for you," she said. "You'll meet people." She'd been distant for months. Always engaged at work, always exhausted at home. We stopped fighting and started coordinating. Calendar alerts replaced real talks. When I tried to explain how invisible I felt, she'd brush it off. "You're overthinking." Eventually, I stopped trying. At the dinner, she glided. Handshakes, shared laughs, shorthand jokes. She wasn't the woman I lived with. She was brighter, quicker, admired. I hovered half a step behind, holding her coat, waiting for an introduction that felt like inclusion. When it arrived, it landed as a joke. "This is my husband," she said, smiling wide. "He keeps me grounded, like a paperweight." Laughter rippled down the table. Someone tapped a glass. Someone else added, "Every high flyer needs one." She didn't shut it down. She leaned in. I laughed too, softly, the way you do to endure something, not enjoy it. For 10 minutes, I stayed there nodding, drinking water, watching her angle toward her boss, Caleb, listening with her whole body. The way she used to listen to me, the way she hadn't in years. That's when I stood. "Early morning," I said, calm, courteous. "Enjoy the evening." She blinked. "Already?" I nodded. "Already." Outside, the cold hit hard. I stood on the sidewalk and noticed my hands shaking. Not with anger, but relief. In hindsight, the signs were obvious. New clothes for work, late nights, strategy meetings that stretched past midnight. When I asked about her day, I got bullet points. When Caleb texted, she gave paragraphs. I learned to read the air and remove myself. A week later, the betrayal was undeniable. I asked if she'd noticed how the joke had landed. She didn't deny it. She downplayed it. "You're too sensitive," she said, scrolling. "That's how everyone jokes. It's bonding." "By shrinking me?" I asked. She sighed. "You always make everything about you. Gaslighting doesn't tell you you're wrong. Tells you your feelings are." I asked if something else was happening, if Caleb was more than a manager. She laughed once. Sharp, dismissive. "Don't be absurd." 2 nights later, I found the email. Not a confession. An invitation. A hotel booked under company travel. 2 names. 1 room. We confronted it in the kitchen at 6:12 a.m., coffee cooling between us. "I know," I said. She didn't ask what I meant. "Before you spiral," she replied. "It's not physical." I waited. "It's complicated," she added. "You wouldn't get it." "I get enough," I said. "You turned me into a joke because I don't fit the life you want." She set down her mug. "I never loved you the way you needed. You were stable, convenient. You made things easier." The words cut clean. "Do my feelings matter to you?" I asked. She looked away. "Not the way you want them to." Cold. Final. The turning point wasn't fury. It was grief without panic. I sat in the garage, car door open, breathing like I'd sprinted a mile. I saw how often I'd accepted being the grounding force, the quiet, useful, uncelebrated presence. How I'd confused silence with peace and patience with virtue. I didn't plead. I didn't bargain. "I'm done," I said when I went back inside. "I won't be your punchline." She asked for time. A pause. Space to decide. I shook my head. I already decided. The separation took months and felt mundane. Forms, logistics, a guest room that became permanent. She stayed in the company apartment during travel weeks. I moved into a small place near the river, with creaky floors and honest light. I cooked for one. I slept through the night. At mediation, she was efficient, courteous. She asked if we could remain friends. I said no, not bitterly, deliberately. A mutual friend later told me the office noticed everything. The joke, my exit, the quiet aftermath. Caleb transferred departments. She stayed. The laughter shifted. I skipped every dinner after that. Months later, I ran into her at the grocery store. She looked thinner, worn down. She asked how I was. "Good," I said, and meant it. Here's what I learned, the kind of lesson that doesn't need witnesses. Public humiliation is a broken boundary. If someone laughs at your expense, they've already chosen the room over you. And dignity doesn't require drama. It requires a line you won't allow anyone to cross again. If you're reading this and you've become the joke to keep the peace, pay attention. You don't owe anyone your quiet. You're allowed to stand, excuse yourself, and leave, even if it takes exactly 10 minutes to realize you should have done it long ago.